Wing support is still going. It's been taken by Frank Wilson. What a good run by Millward. Good leadership from little Roger Millward. They're even standing up to the big fella. The ball's coming wide and deep, but lost ground by it with Watkins taking John Holmes and Mantle coming on to give a little bit of effective cover on the fifth tackle. Well, 40 yards was gained by Millward's run, 20 yards was lost by the pass that came astray for England. England in white, 14 points to 9, only a try and a goal the margin. Peter Banner, try scorer for Wales. And Mel James playing back to Banner. Banner just getting himself turning around and not coming off very well with it. Coslet. And a good long one to Watkins. Watkins got out of trouble for one tackle, but taken then again by Holmes, who's hurt himself and seems to be really in trouble. But play goes on with Wales doing the attack. And on comes Dennis Wright to look after the injured player while play goes on. He was very worried, it's his arm, and he was very worried was John Holmes. You could see he was in pain just below us. And Dennis Wright looking at him. And the play goes on, and the sub's coming on too. Dennis Wright is signalling for the sub, which will be David Eckersley. And David Treasure. Wales now putting on pressure, 14 points to 9. We've got plenty of people cheering for them. This could be the break that Wales want. They're starting like the English team did in the first half. And there's John Holmes going off. But play goes on and knock on. It must be a knock on. But of course the thing is to keep playing with a French referee, and there's the sub, David Eckersley, who I'm assuming will just take over the number 4 berth, but wearing the number 14 jersey. The remaining sub for England is George Nichols, forward sub. John Bevan. John Bevan, there'll be a great cheer even from the Warrington English fans if Bevan were to score. Bill Francis, 14 points to 9, remember, just to try and a goal the margin. Peter Banner. And a very lively Wales at the moment. Treasure. Big John Mantle. And it's in, Travis. In to Carl Coslet. From his fellow clubman, St. Helens, so this looks like making it 14-12, and the referee has just noticed, so that is, come on, that is David Eckersley. Well, let's have a look at that again, because it was a good effort by John Mantle. Then he got his passing very well to Coslet, who's 6 foot, just managed to reach it, and as Watkins takes the kick, 14 points to 12, 14-14. Well, you couldn't have a more exciting World Championship match than this. 5 minutes gone, second half, David Watkins. I gather information from the dressing room that John Holmes has broken a finger on his left hand, gone to have it strapped up, so may come back. And it's rather unfortunate because John Holmes has had a very good match so far, and he indeed has been the major part in the midfield play, along with Gill and Millward. David Watkins kicking for touch, and he has to come and mark on the spot to show that he knows where it is. It's just one of the little foibles of the French referee, who by and large is having quite a good match, and well taken indeed by Keith Fielding. Keith Fielding, of course, a brilliant run, but he's running into trouble. Keith Fielding, ex-Mosul, English Rugby Union, of course, and back come England after another too bright opening. David actually touching the ball for the more or less the first time. 10 Rugby Union caps Fielding, 69 to 72. And the referee said, "You're not having any of that, so you better have a scrum down." Giving Peter Banner a few dark looks, and also looking at Roger Millward now too. I don't think he'll frighten little Roger. England ball, offside Peter Banner, and it must be Fairbairn to come up and take a shot at goal. Fairbairn has kicked 4 out of 5. Josh Fairbairn settled well in rugby league football from the border of Scotland. Rugby Union had a very good tour, and of course it did honours very quickly. Doesn't do a lot of palaver about kicking goals. He gets the ball down, but does stand quite a spell to get it balanced, I suppose, and then he makes a quick short run, and it's a goal. It's a goal, 16 points to 14. So Wales 14, England 16. And it's been rather remarkable that in all the international, the average has been about 26 points per match, and the average in the other internationals that we've had so far. Watkins to restart. The ball's got to go 10 yards, and the English players mustn't come beyond that 10-yard mark where they're standing. They don't. And it's a long one to Keith Fielding. Got the first try. Gregory, Norton. I see that Holmes is back on the bench with his finger strapped. I would think possibly thinking on that Holmes thing, he probably can't come back with one sub on. There's only another one, it would have to be Nichols. And of course, your 5 tackle rule, where of course your 6 tackle in rugby, and there is John Holmes, and he's getting a little bit of a pat from George Nichols, who will be the next sub to come on if a sub is brought on. Not a lot of difference in possession, which I suppose would be the vital thought in Alex Murphy's mind. Because I suppose he would put Irving up front, or Jeff Grayson, if Prop had to go off. Cunningham, halfway line on the left, coming into view now. David Treasure, and the pace is still pretty good. And well played by Treasure. Everybody thinks, of course, he was going to play it backward, but he can play it forward. The referee waves his hand around as if he's sending a signal from clamber ahead, but he's really doing quite a good job. 10 minutes gone in the second half. Coslet, Wales now, almost sort of fighting for their World Championship honours. Scrum's 9-8 to Wales. Fisher had taken the last 5 until that point of time. Now, sweet little break was that. Just slided it away, and the referee giving a penalty against Bill Francis. Millward wants to take it quickly. Seems to be frightened of taking kicks very quickly because if the referee possibly doesn't think he's on the mark or something. But he can take all the time in the world if the ball goes into touch, which it doesn't. It goes to Frank Wilson, not a good kick against the wind. I think there's a lot. Flags are very quiet. Mantle, John Mantle. The forwards now having battled for quite a lot with scrums just going fairly well, fairly even with Wales now having taken, apart from the last one, 5 on the trot. Will now be looking for continued possession, and the referee gives Millward offside. The ball was out and Millward must have said something to him, or somebody must have said something to him. It's no good. Obviously this fellow has been told now, if you have any chat back, give another 10 yards and stop them arguing and talking. And this should be a chance for Watkins, 16-14 to make it 16-16. Straight to the dive, 16-16. Well, I would, there's the score, 16-16. I wouldn't care to forecast the result of this match at this stage. It was all in England in the early part of the first half, 12-4, and then 14-9 at half-time, and then 14-14, 16-14, 16-16. Just shows how it is all going. Clive Sullivan. We haven't seen as much of Millward and Gill in this second half, then they didn't have the ball to do it. Fairbairn is being chased by John Bevan, and he gets out of John Bevan's clutches. He's got Fielding with him, should have passed to Fielding. Fielding was there and occupied almost. That should have been the move there, and a given chance for Fielding to have got away down the wing. A little needle coming in to this match. He's not going to let him play the ball. He's got to get up and play it. So Eric Hughes and Frank Wilson. So the Welsh fire is now coming out, and the referee has given a penalty for a different sort of an up and under. Well, nobody can complain about this match. Steve Norton, due for a break down the moor, and Bob Irving went without it. He was on the run, he was in the right position. He seemed to catch him on the palm of his hand somehow. Kyle Coslett. David Treasure, Wales, in the red on the left. Tony Fisher. The pundits were thinking about the strength of the Welsh pack and whether England will be strong enough in the pack, and the testing time is just about coming. The referee has both hands up. He's 4 on one hand and 3 fingers on the other. I don't know what he's doing, so I'm not going to attempt to guess anymore. He's Fielding. He went under John Bevan and over Frank Wilson, and in comes Mr. Norton, and Frank Wilson is now talking. Fatal to chat. Fatal. 4 more little chats and they'll have a kick at goal. 15 minutes gone, second half. There he is, Frank Wilson. Quite a good footballer, done well for St. Allen, but I suppose he'll be keeping a little quiet now. Bridges. Forsyth. Well taken, well given to Hogan, well supported, but somebody's down. Ball lost. It's Grayson actually, Jeff Grayson of Dewsbury, his first international. Ball loose, come down. Got a leg injury. And I see moving around on the touchline George Nichols. And knowing Alec Murphy's ideas of rugby league, I wouldn't be surprised if he got him on. But anyway, he's waiting to his problem will be who would go propping. That should be a problem because Nichols is virtually a last three-man down. John Mantle used to play in the back three, but now up front, number 8. 16-16 the score. And the Welsh Dragons are going on to every loose ball they can get and taking it well on. Bridges has got it. Can get it to Fielding. Eric Hughes can run if he gets into his stride, but Frank Wilson took him. And Frank Wilson just wrestles a bit with him to, I'm quite sure, to save a bit of time till his men gets back. Colin Forsyth from Bradford Northern. 16-16 the score. Fine-Gael inside, slip pass to Irving. Irving's one of the runners in the forward. England in a position to have a drop if needs be. Going for a quick one from Millward. Roger Millward. And he lost the ball. And a penalty given against Brian Gregory, I think. And the referee is making John Mantle face the ball, and John Mantle has something else to do. He's stopping on the line. So there's a little to-ing and fro-ing, and it appears that Brian Gregory is injured, and that's what they're telling the referee, but he's up. And Fairbairn will obviously, he got a knock on his face, on his nose. And Fairbairn sets up to kick a goal, which will put England back into the lead. It's 16-16 if he kicks it. 7th attempt, 5 successes. Scots-born George Fairbairn. And there he goes, and it's a goal. 18 points to 16. So bags of points in this match, and bags of possibilities even yet. And I'm sure if Mr. Austin Hayward is fit enough to be watching this, and I believe he's feeling better, he'll be delighted about England, but he'll be wondering what's going to happen in the late stages, with Watkins still to unfold his own particular personality in a breaking away. A long one to George Fairbairn. "25 yards line, England's 25, and the referee can give penalties at any given spot. The ball was lost by Brian Hogan. Quite right, the referee's quite right. Steve Norton is scratching his head about as if he wondered what he gave it for, but obviously lost the ball, did Brian Hogan. England's ball. Norton. Millward now resuming his role as master of tactics. Hogan, a nice one to Irving, but he's got out of it. It's coming, can Eckersley. Eckersley's not the fastest of man, and Watkins caught him, but he's still going. Get it out to Fairbairn. Fairbairn taken by Sullivan. So England putting on some pressure, but losing the ball. Atkinson's had no chance of a run. Just reminded me when I saw him making the tackle there. I'm saying much of him, but halfway through the second half, 20 minutes gone, 20 to go. See the referee on the right with the signals. England lost the chance of possession, and Wales are really putting on hard football now, led by Watkins and Bill Francis and Frank Wilson, all good footballers. Frank Wilson receiving the treatment from Eric Hughes. Get off, he said, and they look at each other as if they'd never met. Gregory, a break here, supporting play by Francis. Not a knockout, and the referee, the 5th tackle. He caught it, so it wouldn't have been a knock-on, but it was the 5th tackle with the scrums 10-10. England 18, Wales 16. In the second part of this World Championship. Blind side, wants support. Gets it, but Eckersley goes down to the cover of Coslet. Having a good game, Coslet. Steve Norton took over loose forward from Mal Reilly, both for Castleford and England, Great Britain. The ball's gone loose. Eric Hughes. Got quite a bit of speed, Eric Hughes, of witness. We've seen him in one or two of the competitions when we've got him on television. Doesn't have a chance to go it, and that end is bereft of people. Plenty of people on that far side, but I'm talking about players. Two's now going into position. Bridges, Millward, a little short one, and going to Kenny Gill. Kenny Gill, what he's going to do inside to Eckersley. And Kenny Gill is flat out. Kenny Gill is flat out, and the test judge is on, and it's a stiff arm, and a stiff arm against Bill Francis. And the referee is nodding that he knows what happened, and he knows who did it, and this is the way to bring him round. So Kenny Gill taking the kick. When he comes round, that is. Kenny Gill is the man out, and the only we've got on the bench George Nichols, because George is the forward. Alec Murphy is pointing at something. Bill Oxley, the coach, the manager, is on his feet, and they feel that he's got Dennis Wright is signalling that it looks as if he needs help. So Murphy's on his, there is Bill Oxley, the manager, and to the right is Alex Murphy, also on his feet. But I know what happened. You see that it is the injured player is of course a back, and they're a bit reluctant to bring a forward on. But there's a stretcher out for him, and there's a little bit of discussion going on with manager Oxley and Murphy, and Roger Millward is going across to have a word, and he's going to take the kick with the player being attended to. I think he'll walk around the bench and somebody have a word, and if he takes the kick, it's no goal. It remains 18 points to England, 16 to Wales, and there's quite a little bit of breeze around. And reporting to the touch judge, to Mr. Norton, is George Nichols. I was just trying to think what could happen with the change English team, which will have to be. I should think that Steve Norton will go in the backs. I can't see anyone else. Bob Irving could, but I would think it will be Nichols in the forward and Steve Norton into the backs, with of course Kenny. Well, after all that, it's replay with restart with England 18, Wales 16, and this tension and this powerhouse stuff won't let up before the end of this match. Hogan, just a 2-point margin. And handling the ball for the first time in Nichols and Dave Eckersley. David Eckersley will, of course, I would imagine, go standoff to replace the injured Ken Gill. And Gill is now on his feet, walking round the touchline. That I feel should be why there was hesitancy in bringing on a reserve, the sub, until they knew what was up, because Steve Norton is now playing centre. Wales getting possession. Coslet. England have got a job on their hands with Wales now. John Mantle having a good match, just obliging some of these fellas when they get a red jersey on, what it brings out of them. And it's bringing a lot out of the Welsh team today. David Watkins near the post with a chance at goal, could soon put it 18 all. It's 18-16 to England. Well, Kenny Gill is looking a bit better, getting the thwart from the crowd. They won't feel happy about having to go off in this match.